Well, it's Thursday, March 31st. This is our webinar on Alberta's High on Hydrogen with our principal presenter being Dale Nally, Alberta Associate Minister of Natural Gas and Electricity, and Yogi Schultz, Bill Howell, and Brent Lakeman form our respondents panel, and will be available for additional comments. The minister has to leave in about 40 minutes or so, but without a lot of further ado, I'm going to ask Dale if you want to begin your presentation, and welcome.
Good. Well, thank you, Perry, for having me. So as Perry said, my name is Dale Nally. I'm the Associate Minister of Natural Gas and Electricity, and I am just so pleased to be here with you and to be able to speak about one of my favorite topics. And in fact, I'm known within cabinet as, they try not to ask me too many hydrogen questions, because when you get me talking about hydrogen, I don't want to stop. I don't have that problem with electricity, by the way, but it's just hydrogen is such an exciting field right now. But the conversation is changing a little bit, because when the conversations on hydrogen started, they weren't really about energy security. But now energy security is quickly becoming front of mind for everybody, and we're seeing that with what's playing out in Europe and in Ukraine right now, and those sad events. I think Minister Savage put it best when she said that the energy that powers our homes should not be the same energy that funds what destroys them. And I think that was put very well by Minister Savage. And so we need to start looking at where our energy comes from. And we've been saying that for a long time in Alberta, that we have a long history of responsible energy production. And people that care about environmental, social governance should care about Alberta energy. And that applies just as much to hydrogen as it does to every other energy product. And so hydrogen is definitely one of the most promising opportunities that have come in a long time. And I'm proud of the work that our province has done so far on the hydrogen front. It's work that has put us in a good position to capitalize on that enormous opportunity while allowing our industry partners to lead along the way. And I just want to be clear about where we see hydrogen going, because we have been blessed in this province with energy riches, starting with oil and gas. And we don't believe that oil and gas is, in fact, all the credible forecasts say that oil and gas is not going anywhere. And so we don't see hydrogen as a replacement for oil and gas. We see hydrogen as being right up there alongside oil and gas and being part of a clean, diversified portfolio of energy products. And that's how we see hydrogen playing itself out. We have a proud history and reputation as a responsible energy producer with decades of innovation and industry leadership under our belts. And as I mentioned, high ESG standards. ESG standards that we don't get credit for, I might add, but we have, because we don't just look at the E, we look at the environmental, the social, and the governance. And Alberta has some of the highest ESG standards in the world amongst energy producing regions. And it's that expertise and reputation that will let us move hydrogen forward, continuing to uphold our high standards and capitalize on an amazing economic opportunity that will bring generational wealth to Albertans. And this is exactly the opportunity that we're talking about. It's generational wealth. In the same way the oil sands has created generational wealth for Albertans, hydrogen has an opportunity to create generational wealth, but only if we do the right things now, so that we are going to be positioned to benefit from that generational wealth. And in terms of, when I say generational wealth, I've heard different numbers that have been bounced around. I've heard that by 2050, hydrogen will be a $2.5 trillion industry. I've seen other forecasts where people have said hydrogen will be a $11 trillion industry by 2050. So whether it's 2.5 trillion or it's 11, we know this. It's a significant opportunity, and it is an incredible opportunity for this province, not just to have a cleaner energy future, but it's an incredible opportunity for jobs for Albertans, because the skills that you need to be successful in hydrogen are the exact same skill sets that you need to be successful in oil and gas. And so it is, we are positioned well for that. And lastly, the royalties that this could create for the province is huge. We have a 200-year supply of natural gas that we are currently sitting on based on current standards. and the royalties that this could represent for the province, as well as the tax opportunities for producers and everyone else along the hydrogen value chain. So obviously we are incredibly excited about it. And as I said, we are well positioned. We've already proven that we are the largest hydrogen producing jurisdiction in Canada. We currently make about 2.4 million tons a year of hydrogen, and it makes us a global leader in hydrogen production. Unfortunately, it's gray production, so it's not the clean hydrogen. Since the main appeal of hydrogen is that it emits no carbon dioxide at combustion, we're encouraging a shift in Alberta's main hydrogen production towards cleaner methods, blue, green, and quite frankly, everything in between. It's hard to stay on top of how many types of hydrogen now between sapphire and crystal and everything else. But I think what we have to focus on is that it's a clean hydrogen. Now, thankfully, we have all the tools that we need in Alberta to be successful in hydrogen production. As I mentioned, we have enormous natural gas reserves that will allow us to quickly scale up production, as well as the technology and experience to pair that production with carbon capture. Carbon capture utilization and storage, or CCUS, is a key part of our hydrogen future. And thankfully, Alberta has a geology that is naturally well suited for CCUS, pairing with that experience that I just mentioned. From what I understand from CCUS, you need an alternating porous, non-porous rock formation to really enable CCUS, the storage piece. And we have been blessed with that geology. And so this means we've been blessed twice. We've been blessed once with the natural resources that we have in this province, and now we've been blessed a second time with the geology to store that carbon. And as Brent mentioned, there was an announcement today. Minister Savage has announced 6 projects that we're going to be moving forward with. That will be hydrogen hubs, and this will allow all industries the opportunity to participate in the clean energy future by giving them chances to participate in carbon capture, utilization, and storage. So it's not just opportunity for oil and gas; it's opportunities for power generation and fertilizer, cement. This is really how we're going to leverage that porous, non-porous rock formation to go into a cleaner energy future. We have already stored safely CO2 through projects like the Quest facility and the Alberta Carbon Trunk Line. I heard a criticism recently about the carbon capture that we currently have in this province, and that it only captures 30 or 40% of the carbon. And I can't tell you if that's true or not. But I do know this: that was one of the first carbon capture, utilization, and storage projects that we had. With the technology that we have available to us now in hydrogen, because industry is moving from what is known as steam methane reforming to auto thermal reforming. And please don't ask me to go through the exact specifications, but what it means to us is that the autothermal reforming will capture 95% of carbon emissions. So if you ever hear anyone say that blue hydrogen is not low carbon, that is not true. It captures 95% of the carbon, and it is a clean energy source. Now, we're taking another step forward by creating environmentally safe carbon capture hubs across the province, which will give all sorts of industries the chance to reduce their emissions and shift towards a cleaner energy future. And that is the announcement that Minister Savage made today. The hydrogen production industry is going to be one huge beneficiary of that shift. Since we have the technology, the experience, and the resources to quickly increase low carbon hydrogen production, we're in an ideal position to meet growing demand from around the world. In fact, we expect to produce some of the lowest cost clean hydrogen in the world. And our experts are telling us that we will have the second cheapest clean hydrogen in the world will come from right here in Alberta. And then the next question to that is, who has the cheapest? And the answer to that is Russia. Russia will have cheaper blue hydrogen than we do. And I can tell you, and I've been saying this before a war broke out in Ukraine. Well, it didn't break out, it was an invasion. But before there was war in Ukraine, we've been saying that the global jurisdictions want Alberta energy because it's responsibly sourced. There are a number of industries that are moving to incorporate hydrogen into their operations, including major commercial sectors like transportation and heating. With countries around the world looking to make these shifts, Alberta has an opportunity to become a key exporter of clean hydrogen. This move isn't just a good economic chance for Alberta and our energy workers. It means a more diverse global energy system and a lower carbon future all at once. We have an opportunity for first mover advantage because we have this wonderful 200-year resource that I mentioned of natural gas. We've already got the expertise in hydrogen production. We've got the trained and skilled workforce that have been working in this industry already, whether it's hydrogen or whether it's oil and gas. So we are positioned to have first mover advantage. And blue hydrogen will have a significant cost advantage over other colors such as green, and that means it's going there first. And we want to be part of that. Here in Alberta, we have plans to support the clean hydrogen economy in 4 key sectors. In addition to transportation and residential and commercial heating, we see enormous possibility for clean hydrogen in power generation, as well as throughout the province's industrial sector. These industries and the opportunity they hold are outlined in our hydrogen roadmap, which was released late last year. Our roadmap is focused on establishing a solid base of demand, starting with these 4 target industries, which can then feed into additional industries and export opportunities down the line. In Alberta, we're advancing a combination of policy actions that will work in tandem to begin growing Alberta's local demand. Some of these actions, like de-risking early investments, may involve leveraging some of government's financial resources. But for the most part, we see our role as enabling our energy sector to do what it does best, to innovate and to lead. CCUS is a great example. The carbon hubs I mentioned earlier will be operated by the private sector through a competitive bidding process. Other low-cost opportunities to move hydrogen forward on a local level include establishing a clear and efficient regulatory system, and leading the development of partnerships that can help drive that integration of hydrogen. Here in the Edmonton area, we have the Greater Edmonton Region Hydrogen Hub, which is a collection of industry, municipal representatives, and associations that work together to build up the use of hydrogen across the region. For example, a hydrogen bus that serves a municipality could be refueled by a service station that is built and maintained by a hydrogen-focused association, supplied by a hydrogen producer located nearby. Building interconnected networks that could help hydrogen grow organically is what is going to help us leapfrog into the future. In terms of all the different colors of hydrogen, I mentioned blue and green. Those are the 2 most common ones right now, and most people are probably aware. Blue hydrogen is from natural gas. Green hydrogen is from water. Our position is that we are agnostic to the color of hydrogen. If a company wants to come to Alberta and they want to build a world-scale green hydrogen facility, as long as they're going to hire Albertans to do it, then that is something that I support. Now, as I say that, there are significant advantages over blue hydrogen. It is significantly cheaper. We've already got that expertise, that skill set that we need to leverage that. And so we are absolutely well positioned. And lastly, both blue and green have water usage. Green hydrogen is unable to recycle the water, and that presents some unique challenges to jurisdictions like Alberta that is landlocked, and we don't have significant water rights. And so I think that we will see green hydrogen production in Alberta, but I think it will be more niche in nature. Where I see green hydrogen being more successful is in New Zealand, for example. They're really pursuing green hydrogen because of their access to the coast, and you can desalinate it for that process. So we're just not in that position here. So we really believe that the advantage for Alberta is the blue hydrogen, and that what the world scale production that we're going to see in this province is going to be blue hydrogen for the foreseeable future. But again, there will be niche green projects as well. Now, that future is a bright one for Alberta, Canada, and the global energy market as a whole. Hydrogen offers a complete package: clean energy produced from many sources, with the ability to store energy better than battery storage, a long track record of use across industries, not to mention responsibility and ethically sourced countries like Canada. With so much potential surrounding this industry, we're absolutely convinced that hydrogen can be the next great opportunity for Alberta's energy sector and Canada's position as an energy exporter. And as I said earlier, I really truly believe that it is generational wealth, and the scope and size will certainly compete with that of the oil sands. I truly believe that. It will help cement our standing as a place where customers from around the world can find reliable, responsibly produced energy. We've been doing a lot of work sharing the story of Alberta's energy industry with everyone around the world. That includes showing off all the hard work our energy companies have done to advance their environmental, social, and governance. For example, Alberta companies representing 75% of oil sands production are committed to a net zero future by 2050. And I'm proud to say that the oil sands committed to this net zero by 2050 with zero prodding from the Alberta government. This was industry doing what's right. And it's just another great example of Alberta innovation that is committed to high standards of environmental social governance. We have no doubt Alberta companies will not just reach that goal, but they'll continue to show leadership along the way. Adding clean hydrogen to the mix of Alberta's energy products will be even more proof that we are global leaders in how energy can combine good economic sense with environmental protection. And that is the key message. We used to be under this belief that you had to choose between the economy or the environment, and you don't have to make that choice anymore. And hydrogen is going to be that bridge between the environment and the economy. Given all the uncertainty and discussion around energy security lately, this is an increasingly important part of how policymakers and companies are evaluating their future options. Clean Alberta Hydrogen offers us one more tool in the tool shed to help attract eyes and attention back to our energy sector. It also ensures we are adapting to the changing marketplace overall. Alongside the enormous investments we've seen in renewable energy over the last few years, ensuring Alberta is providing the whole range of energy that supports economic development will ensure we remain front of mind for potential investors and international companies. It will also make sure we continue to have one of the most widely skilled workforces in the world, which will be able to continue our track record of innovation and leadership. We've already seen some enormous international investment interest in Alberta's clean hydrogen space, with several world-class facilities announced in 2021. And I have to tell you, my whole team is stunned by the pace at which hydrogen is moving forward. The fact that we saw so many announcements in the last 12 months is incredible. We saw ATCO and Suncor announced a hydrogen production facility. We saw Atoshu and Petronas, Mitsubishi and Shell, Air Products, Northern Petrochemicals. All 6 of those projects are hydrogen projects. There is a 7th project that has not been announced, so I can't tell you the name or the scale, but that's actually 7 world-scale hydrogen facilities. One of them is for the oil sands, one of them is for more domestic use, and the other 4 are for export to Asia. And that's what's so exciting. We never thought that we were going to get into the export game as quickly as we are. Now, for anyone that's wondering what we're going to do about a pipeline, ammonia and methanol are actually excellent carriers of hydrogen. So these companies will actually be producing ammonia or methanol, or in some cases both, and they'll be shipping that to the coast on a train. And then from there, they'll ship it to Asia via boat, and then they will remove the hydrogen from it once it gets there. So these are exactly the kind of projects that we will be able to keep attracting and which will expand Alberta's energy options for decades to come. With such a large opportunity in front of us, we know we have to act fast. And that's why when we released our roadmap last year, we accelerated our goal of reaching export readiness by 10 years compared to our natural gas vision and strategy. And again, the time between when we released the natural gas strategy and vision and when we released the hydrogen roadmap, incredible things had begun to happen. And so, like I said, we are pleasantly surprised by the speed and pace at which hydrogen is moving forward. We are looking to start supplying hydrogen to consumers around the world by 2030, because that's where the truly once in a generational opportunity comes up. It's one thing to create hydrogen for domestic demand, but when we can get our hydrogen to global markets, that's when things are going to get really good. I am pleased to say that we're already implementing key action items in the roadmap. For instance, in Budget 2022, we announced the establishment of a Clean Hydrogen Center of Excellence. We'll have more details to come on the Center of Excellence in the coming weeks. I encourage you to look at the hydrogen convention at the end of next month. I am incredibly proud of the hydrogen convention that is going to be happening next month in Edmonton. And then I certainly look forward to that. If anyone here has not seen that, I encourage you to take a look at it. We're also actively working with stakeholders to establish a regulatory system to enable hydrogen to be blended with natural gas into residential and commercial heating markets. Just like how the oil sands have put us on the global map and provided billions of dollars in economic growth and opportunities, hydrogen can do the same for the next generation of Albertans. Hydrogen really is the next big thing in the energy world, and Alberta is poised to be able to play an even bigger role in that global picture than we already are. I'll leave it there for now, and I'm looking forward to hearing what others have to say on this really exciting opportunity that we have in front of us. I'm so glad that you had me here today, and as I mentioned early on, this is one of my favorite topics, is to discuss hydrogen, and particularly hydrogen for Alberta. And so I appreciate the invite, and certainly I would be happy to take any questions if there are any.